does he know?
Can't sit still. I say I can't sit still. Can't sit still. I come to do Jaja will. Would I like sit still? But I can't sit still. I couldn't sit still. I come to do Jaja will. What I'm going in a South Africa. Although I live so far in a Jamaica, me little brother them a talk how them big bout ya. For them not see themselves as a part of Africa. Can't sit still. Can't sit still. Come to do Jaja will. Could I like sit still, but I can't sit still. Couldn't sit still. Come to do Jaja will. Like play it cool and keep silent. Look what a gone on the black continent. Some can't find food. They can't pay the rent. A lot of people just a walk discontent. Say I can't sit still. Can't sit still. I come to do Jaja will. Would I like sit still, but I can't sit still. Couldn't sit still. Come to do Jaja will. Look how them robbers are for rights and culture, and still a shed with blood in a South Africa. Jago send the earthquake and the volcano. The lightning a rage out every area. It just a chase apartheid out of South Africa. Then I and I will get our heart desire. Can't sit still. I say I can't sit still. Can't sit still. I come to do Jaja will. Would I like sit still, but I can't sit still. Couldn't sit still. Come to do Jaja will.
All right, family, peace, greetings. Welcome to another edition of Baba TV Every Time Fire. And it's my absolute privilege to be in the company, back in the company of my elder Baba, priest Ilika, someone whom I've known since I was a very young man in Washington, D.C. And by the way, that was our brother, our elder Rastafari, that I was fortunate and had the privilege of meeting as a young man in Washington, D.C., along with Ross Sam Brown and a lot of the Bingy elders as they taught many classes up in Northwest in Washington, D.C., and I sat at the feet of those two, mainly those two, Sam Brown and Ross Pedal, back in the late 80s, I want to say. The late 80s, early 90s. I was a real young man then, and I remember seeing Priest Ilika and his family, his wife and his children, and he would always be trotting up and down Georgia Avenue, but he always had the family with him. And I'm just so privileged to have known him and still keep in touch with him. And I called him today and said, "Come on, brother, let's do something. You haven't been on Baba TV in a while to give our people some constructive reasonings, as you always do. There's a lot going on in the universe." So before I get started, cause you know we want to get the dopey out of the way, you know, man, first. So as only you can do,
Yes, sir.
Ross, I'm going to get out the way, and I want to introduce to some and present to others our brother, Ross Ilika.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like all that. Can you hear me good, bro?
Yes, sir. You loud and clear. Yep.
I was getting these children organized because they thought that they wanted to go to the store and get something. So I gave them the card. You know, they get a credit card, go ahead, because they can't do with so much damage. I'm like, yo, go on, take the can, get some candy, and get some stuff. I'm going to get on Baba TV, and I'm going to talk some stuff. Like, move, man. You ain't eating up all that. Move. See, that's what happened to children. When they get old enough to go to the store by themselves and you give them credit card, they going to go. They going to go get whatever they want. And you know it's never the right thing when they get back. Then they want to go back. But anyway, so much for little children. We want to talk about some of these big children out here. Rastafari. Bless to everyone out there. Yes, I'm still ticking. I'm still ticking from such hour to this hour. And I said today to one of my brethren, I said, boy, I'm hot. I got to say something to somebody to make them know, like, since I came in the trial, it's only 40 years. That's all. It's only 40 years. Ain't no big time. I had teeth and everything. And the elders came with this idea that even though we didn't have any real money or any real tangible anything, they would say the anity, they call it unity, like that, but we call it anity because we knew if with the right things, we could build an empire. We could rebuild it because we only needed one another. That's all we needed, is one another. So to now, some 40 years later, people done took the whole concept of Rastafari and made it like it's a do whatever you want to do. Bless up, brethren, Tim Raw, I hear ya, and all the other brethren out there, because some of these brethren is the brethren that I still see. Every week I see them come through with reason, because a lot of the work was left undone. Because the younger people, at a certain time, they took the information and the knowledge that they received from I and I, the elders, you know what I'm saying, that, they built their own empire by themselves. Yes, I am. Bless up, brother Israel. No, I don't think the brother was there with us when we came down to Alabama. I brought a bunch of reformed bad guys with me. They came and helped me pay people rent and all that stuff, because they were bad guys when I met them. So I was bringing them to come on over to the faith where we just take care of everyone, hungry fed, naked clothed, sick nourished, age protected, infants cared for. That was only 5 things you had to do to be around me, which means that you couldn't be broke. You just couldn't be broke. So since bad guys don't want to be broke, I just showed them what to do with the money they was collecting. So we went down to Alabama and met with some ones and brethren lights was off. So we cut the brethren lights off and Brethren was about to be evicted, so we just paid the man rent. And we didn't ask for nothing. It was just me showing bad guys the duty of the priest. It's just the duties. But you get bad guys to pay all this because if you're going to feed hungry people, you need money. Okay? You need the money. So we were never trying to leave the money behind. That was part of the faith. Because the elders came here and they did whatever they needed to do to eat. Like that album, Modern Antique by Rastafari. If you go and find the album, it's a treasure. It's a whole treasure. So now, while the album was being built and everybody was getting their name and everything, my job was to make sure the elders was good. Here in America, because I'm from America, so we made sure they was good. So, did the album in my hometown because the safest place to do it is where you know. We did the album Modern Antique. If you look, you get the album, open up the cover, you'll see Thanks to Brethren, Priest Ilika. I had to put my name in front because nobody was thinking about the priest. Everybody wanted their hands out, get their hands in, and we just wanted to get the productions in and get it going. So now I just found the album again today on Amazon. They decided to put it out because now, here's the ticker. None of the rights to the album belong to I and I. They belong to some other people who waited for all of us to keep fighting and infighting and dying off to where they could capitalize on the knowledge that we gave people in 1992. That's when that album came out, 1992. So that's like, how many years is that, Baba? From 92 to now? 31, 32? 32 years?
Like 30 years. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yep. 30 years.
Mm-hmm. So we had to put that much time into it to see the album finally come out. Finally, it came out. Now, younger people need to listen to this. They need to go check out Ross and Brown and go check out the music because they didn't want us to speak during that time. They didn't want us to say none, a public appearance or none of that. Now, we made appearances amongst I and I people, but the broader mass, they didn't want I and I talking to the people because now we would tell you the truth. Straight. We call it reasoning. Reasoning is like, we got a subject. You speak, I'm going to speak last because I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to just tell you what it is. Okay? So that's what the elders taught me. That's why when they had a big meeting some 30 years ago, I guess, right, we had elections. So I was running for chairman because in that hour, the chairman is supposed to be the one that controls all the money. So since I wanted to be chairman, the elders, about 7 of them stood up and said, we elect Ilika as the priest. Is they elected. So now I got a brethren we've been brethren 30 odd years, same time. He came over the other night. He said, I remember when they elected you the priest. I said, really? He said, why was you crying that day? I said, I was crying because I didn't get to be the chairman who controlled the money. He said, but don't you know that the priests control all the money? I said, yeah, it took me about 10 years to figure it out. Because if you really help the people, it's like playing the lottery. You don't know who is going to be the next big guy. You don't know. Because we all need support. We still need support. We still need reasoning. So you don't know who going to be the next big guy. Now, the difference is when you become the big guy, you got to share out some of the bigness. Some of that stuff where you collected from the thought and the process and all the intellectual rights and all that copyright. You're supposed to share some of that wealth because we balancing each other off. Hungry fed, naked clothed, sick nourished, age protected, infants cared for. So the people that came around me in 30 years know that's the only thing the priest would ever say to them. Ever. We got to work together on this. So we would pay people rent. We knew we was never getting that money back. But we're going to do something else to get the money anyway. Because the act of collective security, just the act alone, put us in a different mindset, put us in a different environment. The thing just was nice. So like I was telling brethren this morning early, we don't have nothing that look like that. The buildings where we used to have that was $1 million then, they $3 million right now. We would have made profit off of just maintaining the unity. But greed stepped in, you know what I'm saying? Thessalonians, you'll see it, you can read it for yourself. And they decimated everything we built to where we don't have a stick, a pot to piss in, and none of the things that we had in the beginning. So we had to start over from zero. And, zero is not a number. It's a zero. It means you have nothing in. You have nothing. So now those of us that maintain our lives, Brother Jack, that brother was brilliant right there. He the one that taught me that if I'm a sow, because he taught me like, yo, do something with your hands all the time. So I was sewing. He said, yo, if you want to get a store, then make clothes for everybody in the house. I was like, make clothes for everybody in the house? Yeah. So I had to buy the fabric, go to everybody in the bingy house and get a measurement, give them a shirt. Little children got clothes, everybody just made all of it. Same time when I got that project completed, the master made sure that the store was right around the corner. He said, go to the store and tell the man you want the building. I read about it in the Bible. You go tell somebody something and you get it. I went around the corner and the man had the store open. Right now, it's Harar Coffee is inside the same building. That's why I'm there all the time. Let you know that. So now, went to the store. The man was on the floor in the store fixing the floor. I said, brother, how much is this building? The man say, are you real Rastafari or you just one of them Rasta guys? So I gave him a couple of scriptures. He said, oh, you really Rastafari? He said, man, you give me $1,100, you could be in the store tomorrow. I was like, really? He said, yeah, man. I said, okay, fine. I left, went back home. I ain't have $1,100, but I had 4 brethren that was with me. They were tight too. And I told them, I said, yo, man, we need to get $1,100 to get the store in the morning. So they said, okay, we're going to do what we normally do. And we did what we normally do. We came together. We had 2,200 in the morning. Went around the corner, gave the man 2,200. He gave us the keys. Period. That was it. Now, I went back later, signed the lease and all that type of business type of stuff. But, Virgin, doors open for us. And we would like to have that happen, one more time. Just to show the power. Because New York was big. Delaware was big. Connecticut was big. Florida was big. Alabama was big. All over Cali, Kansas, all this stuff was big. From zero. We did this from zero. But now we can't even call nobody these days and say, yo, loan me $5,000 so I can pay my rent. We only have it again. So I ain't gonna complain too much, Bob. I just had to get that off my chest from this morning. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, priest.
Well, it's all right, don't fret. But see, while people telling us to be concerned about Palestine and all this stuff, man, we got our own history. And nobody talking about our history. Well, we can tell you about all of what we don't know about. You told us about Palestine and Israel. You told us that y'all created the state of Israel in 1948 by conquering the Palestine people. But you still ain't conquering them now. You took land, you took it by force. Last time I read that Bible, the devil still kills and destroys. That's what the devil do. Okay. Now that was what we did. Kill, and destroy. We would never in that. We should have been in that from the beginning. Because we found ourselves in the enemy's country. For those of you that still read the Bible, that's what's that? Barak 3. Barak 3. Go read that. And ask you a question. Israel, why are you still in that country? Why are you still in that country? People say, man, this is our country too. Prove it. This your country. If you can prove it to me, I'm listening. When we finish listening, I want some rights. Okay. That's what I want. Because the civil rights belong to the alphabet gang. Okay. The alphabet gang got all its rights doing the civil rights because of a guy named Baynard Russell. Okay. He just happened to be in the alphabet gang from the beginning. So when he wrote the civil rights, he included rights for the alphabet gang. So now that nobody knows that, the alphabet gang runs everything. Hollywood, every type of multi-billion-dollar company. Okay. That's what you hear Cat Williams talking about. He said, if you want to do stuff out here, you got to join the alphabet gang. You got to. So now everybody upset over Cat Williams said the other day. But he telling the truth. You want to get into it, you got to slurp and do some things. Man, they don't even like women in the place. Can't you tell? In Hollywood, they don't even like women. They don't. They're like little children. If you look at the movies that sold the most of everything, Little Children was the star of the movies. Little Children. That when you learn 20 years later, these children was molested, all type of stuff. Okay? We can't let it go like we hiding from something. Like, what are you hiding from? You knew that when Tevin Campbell came out singing that song for Quincy Jones, everybody knew he was going to be in the alphabet gang after he finished singing. Today, as a grown man, he's one of the people in the alphabet gang because they used the civil rights and the codes that was really in the civil rights to get their rights. Okay? They got a lady on the Instagram. I got to get this sister's name because she was funny as shit. She said, if you hit a woman today, they're going to give you domestic violence charge. Domestic violence. You could be out tomorrow morning. You know what I'm saying? Now, you might have to maybe do some time if you vicious and all that. They're going to definitely sue you and get the money. But now, if you hit a member of the alphabet gang, transgender, whatever they call that, you get a minimum of 10 years for doing that. So the lady was upset, saying, how come people get more time for hitting you than they do hitting a natural woman? And the member of the alphabet gang says it's your women's fault. So I wanted to tune in next week and find out how it was the women's fault. Because the women just was, taught to do whatever they do. Isaiah 3, if you want to read it, Isaiah 4, put it all together. That's what that is. So I ain't going to say nothing bad about nobody because everybody read Romans 1 already. So there's no need for me to talk about the alphabet gang. Everybody know what they're doing. See, during a certain time, Christ said to forget him, because they don't know what they're doing. But you look at it now, everybody know what they're doing. They know it in different ways and ways you can't even imagine. We would never even think about the stuff that people are doing with the alphabet gang. Okay? All the billions of dollars is passed around the alphabet gang. So all these famous people and they big time and everything. Now you find out they was members of the alphabet gang. Nobody wanted to believe it, but rumors. But now you can't hide it. So what are we gonna do that's not in the alphabet gang? Do we want to let go our liberty that we was given the right by God Almighty to establish a better earth, a better platform, a better way of communicating? Now, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this. It was people 30 years ago that was fighting against locks. You got locks in your head and you're nasty and you this. Same people got locks today. 24. These are people with locks in their head. They gone with it. They was against it. They was against it in the beginning, but they saw it was profitable if you had certain qualifications. Because as a people, and as Rastafari people was always into education. All the time. So we got a lot of doctors, engineers, we got all that stuff, man. That's got 20 and 30 years in the business. Because we was always into that. So the elders that's a good word, they birthed the free dominion of we can go to school now. You could never wear no locks in your head prior to the elders coming to America. And the elders going to Trinidad, and the elders coming up from all the Caribbean, from the Mau. People forgot Mau, Rastafari. And it's in the beginning stages. They grew their locks. They were like, yo, we ain't putting up with none of this, man. And they put their life on the line. That's why Britain got the heads of the leaders of the Mau. They got their heads in the museum so the other people can look at it and go, this is their genetics right here. So when you see these people with the locks in their head and they got long precepts and stuff like that, them the guys that you want to get rid of. Because them the guys that are going to go the distance for themselves and for their people. To this day, that's who you look at. Okay? You'd rather go see two bald-headed men kissing than to pay attention to what we saying to you. You'd rather go see that because that's the alphabet gang. That's their perception. So we gone bad, Baba. We gone bad. And told my brother today, I got to say something to somebody because it ain't working for me. Same time I said that to my brother, I think he on the line. He'll tell you. Same time I was talking to him about it, is the Baba TV called me and said, what's on, praise? I'm like, yo, I want to talk. We can talk today because the spirit is telling us, yo, let these people know, like, you ain't got to vote for me. I told you, I was never in being voted for. You like me or I don't fit into. I ain't never fit into nothing. But I had to build my own. That's what the elders told us, to build your own. So we did that. We still building it. We still got young people that's still out there trying to find their way through this life because we don't have no support system again. The things we used to do, I don't do them no more. The things I used to say, I don't say them no more. Because see, in the day, I'll get locked up for saying what I'm saying. I'll definitely get blackballed for sure. So I told Bobby today, I ain't going to say certain things because they're going to kick us both off the air. I don't want that to happen. We're going to play nice. We're going to play around the edges, and I'm not going to do a Charleston White on nobody. I would like to do that, though, because that boy is on it. He on it. He like, I cuss all of you out, every one of you, because I started listening to the dude, and I was like, oh, he Rastafari without the locks. You heard them people, right? Comb some. They just black. They just telling you what it is without no locks, and you can't dispute it because they telling you the truth. And here you go. I know that he should be Rastafari because when people talk about him and have him out there on these platforms interviewing him, they say, well, why you just can't tone it down and watch how you say it? Look at your delivery. That's the same thing they've been telling I for 40 years. Well, people would work with you if you would talk right to them. I ain't gonna talk right to you. You know what you did last night we don't do? You know that. They got a new thing now, Bob. I don't heard all of it. Bisexual, non-binary, all this stuff. Just the alphabet gang. So now I heard this group last week called Trisexual. You ever heard that? Trisexual? It's exactly what it is. They try to sex you all. Everybody. They don't care. Male, woman, dog, cat, puss. They want to sex everything. Because that's their mentality. Through their sexual organ, they feel they can grow heights. But you can't grow heights like that. Heights are given by the Almighty. And he ain't giving it to you unless you follow the rules. You don't have to like the Bible, but he made sure that he had these people who weren't following the Bible anyway. They just were reading and writing. So they wrote it in a way where you would be upset when you found out like Christ was black. But Isaiah 53 will tell you that. You got to read it. You know what I'm saying? Revelation 5, you can read these things for yourself. But, they said, you want to keep something from black people, give them a book. They definitely ain't with the Bible no more. People tattoo their whole self up, their whole body, and that's their sign. But they got the mark of the beast already tattooed on their body. Somewhere in all those designs, there's a devil sign in there. In all them signs, there's a devil sign in your tattoo. Because people are taught to put that in there. So whether you know it or not. See, we on some destructive type of behavior, bro. And I don't like it no more. I ain't trying to be quiet no more. Like I told the brethren today, you ain't gotta like me now. I'm about to start talking. That Bible let me talk for a few minutes. I'm gonna say something that you ain't gonna like. And I don't want you to like it. This is not click and you like it. No, you ain't gotta like it, but you better check it. Cause Cat Williams told you the truth. Now you want to be mad at him, but you can't be mad at the dude. These people they can't even be quiet now. They gotta tell you everything they know to be true, and you can't even argue with them. That's why they hiring them now. Put them on my show. Get my numbers up. Cause by the time Cat Williams finish talking, you gonna feel bad about everybody he talked about. Because the people he talked about was the people that you was following. You was following the people that he talking about. So when they told you, no, you a good actor, you good this, but you need to come over here on the casting couch and perform a couple acts. And then we'll give you $200 million. We'll give it to you. Now, who gave these people the power to baptize in wickedness? They baptizing us in wickedness. And we think because you get this money, you good. But you ain't gonna never tell the people what you actually did to get that money. Ain't because you can act better or you can sing better or none of that. You can't do it. I dare a guy to tell me he can sing better than Luther. I dare a guy to do that. Tell me you sing better than Luther. Any song. Pick any song. Let's see how you do that. And everybody know what Luther was. But nobody bothered the dude because he didn't put that out there. He just lived his life when he got his money, did all the music with different people. I found some music that Luther was in a jazz album, just singing background. I found it today. So that's going to be on my show Friday, Listening Room DC on Friday. Okay, I'm not promoting the Alphabet Gang. I'm just telling you like the music is the music. Some guys really had the gift from God. To get it out there, you had to join the Alphabet Gang to get that music out there. Some people had to really do that. Because last time you checked, there's a thing called buck breaking. So they found them bucks and they was breaking them. Now, that would embarrass everybody that it happened to. It would embarrass everybody that it happened to. But at the same time, some people say they going to get over that. They getting over it. You did it to me now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get in everything that I'm allowed to get in. And those people open up other doors for other people. That's the only way you can hear Baynard Rustin. He wasn't nobody special, except for he was in the Alphabet Gang. He had political support from all of the white people that was in the Alphabet Gang. Because they knew at a certain time the power that the Almighty gave all of us individually, one or two of us was going to come together and take over a lot of stuff. A lot. Economically, scholastic, okay? When John Henry Clark came out, they had no answer for the dude. None. When he came out and started telling people what a TI is, where to look for this in this book, where to find this in this book, then you had to go back and look at Paul Coates. You had to go back and look at all these black writers that you never paid no mind to. Okay? You never paid them no mind because they was controversial. Even W.E.B. Du Bois. I never liked the dude until I read about him out of somebody else's mouth, somebody else's book. I was going like, this dude snuck inside, played like he had good manners, and opened up the doors all the way to Ghana. Go check your history now. E.B. Du Bois did the thing for Ghana all them years ago. People don't even know that, administratively. So now they offer us dual citizenship. Because whatever Du Bois wrote down and showed the Ghanaian people, it manifesting today. So they're offering you dual citizenship. They want a taste of that. They want a taste of that ingenuity that came from all this deprivation, all the things. Because check this out. Before his master came, before he came to the forefront, nobody respected black people on earth. Nowhere, no how. Nobody. Okay? His master came, opened up the door, and they had to respect him first to see eye and eye to even offer us some respect. Because I read in the book 40 years ago, it says His Majesty, the Europeans said it, is the only black man they feel equal to them. One man equal to them, the whole group. Because they knew it wasn't no group of black men that was going to step up. Okay? But see, when His Majesty did his thing and fought against them Italians, you see people from America joined in. Colonel John Robinson came in and was like, yo, I'm flying some planes. I'm going to fly His Majesty around myself. Okay? I'm going to go to war and shoot down as many of these Nazis as I can. Go read the history. We were unified as a people. We forgot all about that. We forgot unification. Now they over-sexualize us, so we always got to talk about sex. I don't want to talk about your sex. Your sex is not my sex. Male lady asked me today, she said, so how many more children do you want? I said, as many as you can give me. She said, I'm not having no more babies. I just asked you how many more you want. I said, as many as you going to give me. She said, well, you are right. The Almighty said, be fruitful and multiply. I said, yeah, because I want to have some evidence that me and you hitting it. I don't want to be on no TV like, I hit that. No, you can look. That baby look just like me. I hit it. See, I know I hit it. So I'm responsible for that. We need more responsible people. Okay? If you go around sexing every woman you want to sex, you know for sure if you don't get no disease or none of that stuff, you just straight. By the time somebody else get that woman, because you don't want her after a while, somebody getting used package. And people acting like having a used package is good. So the women be like, yo, I'm high value. Well, you done had, one lady had on the, I watched Instagram, the lady said she had 2,000 men pass through her. Now, who wants that? I mean, really, you just bought a brand new Toyota and it got 300,000 miles on it. You just bought it, though. You put gas in it, shined it up, 300,000 miles on it. Okay? You're not going to go pay top dollar for that. You're going to shine it up or whatever, but you ain't. Our mentality gone. We gone, bro. We gone. In the wrong direction, too. All right, Bob, I'm going to calm down. I'm ready for a question or two because, boy, it's all over the place. And I told my brethren, I said, I'm going to write down some notes so I don't just be rambling because Rastafari people, we see different things. In reality, we see it. And we would like to stop our people from going in that direction. We have a thing called O-turn. We don't call it U-turn. It's an O-turn. I mean, you going in a certain direction and you realize that you going in the wrong direction. You say, oh, and then you turn. And you turn. So you can't say nobody told you nothing. And you learn how to build from where you at. So we had to build from zero so many times that we know that zero goes before one. We know that now. Zero goes before one. So if anybody find themselves back at zero, give thanks to the Almighty that He loves you enough to make you start over again. Because you don't want to get to 100 and you ain't got no foundation whatsoever. So when the people say, we want you to compromise your liberty to get this money because we the only people that can help you right now. You way up here. So if you want us to help you, you got to do X, Y, and Z. And you want to keep the stuff that you got. So you say, well, won't nobody know that I'm doing X, Y, and Z? The same person you did that covenant with, the Almighty, you know what you're doing now. And He told us never to capitulate. Never capitulate. You can look that up. It's been on my brain for 40 years. I had to look the word up when my elder said it to me. I was like, surrender? Why would we surrender? Why would we give up our rights to try everything on the planet correctly If we know that the world is doing it wrong, why we can't try it right? It's got to be a right way to do everything. All right, come on, brother. I'm gonna be quiet for 5 more seconds because it's popping right now. It's popping. It's coming out my brain.
And I definitely don't want to be the one to stop the flow.
You
But
can't stop it. How
but
you gonna stop it?
but no, I know I can't do that. But I don't want to interrupt. But I did have a thought I wanted to add
Yes, sir.
to your well stream of wisdom. And I was looking at the news today, and they was talking about Oregon over there. They talking about the first state to legalize drug use, meaning heroin, and the xylazine and the fentanyl and all of the stuff that people are using today. And when I thought about it, and when I hold on,
you supposed to say their people.
right, I'm getting there, and then I want to get to it. Right, no, it's 90. When I thought about it, it's not the state is 90%, damn near 100% white. And I said, well, once upon a time in the history, if you were black, you couldn't even live in Oregon. For all of you that don't know, they had that on the law books. If you were black, you couldn't even live in Oregon. So it's no wonder now that they want to legalize drug use. They say give them $100 ticket, but or decriminalize it rather. Don't lock them up because the only people there is white people. So of course they don't want to lock their own people up, and it's an epidemic now over there with white people and drug use. And it's not even heroin no more. It's xylazine and fentanyl. Xylazine being an animal tranquilizer that ultimately eats your flesh up, and fentanyl, which we already know, we hear enough about the fentanyl. It's not even heroin no more. But I just wanted to add to that, priest, that they talk about decriminalizing and give them $100 fine, but don't, but when the crack was out there, wasn't nobody talking about just give them $100 ticket. They was locking black folks up wholesale for just a little itty bitty amount of crack. But go look it up, family. I don't know what year it was in. It was back in the days that it was absolutely on the law books that if you were black, you couldn't even live in Oregon. And that was something that was on the law books. Not because me say so. It's because they had it in their law that you could not live there. I'm done running my mouth, priest. Go ahead.
Okay, so look at what you're saying. Portland and all those areas are on the port. They're on the port. So the drugs could come in to port and the white people get their hands on it. That's how they did it. The fentanyl that you see, the epidemic, is not for black people. We flunk chemistry. Even the crackheads don't want no fentanyl. Okay? We got a rack them around here. They ain't bothering with no zitazine or kipamine or none of that shit. They flunk chemistry. They know if you touch it, you die. They don't want to die. They want to ease the pain up from what somebody lied to them. Because now in the crack era, you mentioned crack. Remember, this country was fighting over cocaine in South America, heroin in Afghanistan, okay, Iraq and Iran, same heroin business, okay. China got into it because they couldn't bring it across the Atlantic, so they took it up through China and brought it back over this side. Where did it end up? In Oregon, because you couldn't load it up in San Francisco because they had too much other drugs coming in from San Francisco. Mainly the coke and the stuff from over there in South America. Coming through Mexico, coming up the coast. See, we got to be like, put it all together while you're breathing air, put it together and say, somebody has some conglomerate shit going on. And their target market was black people. Okay? So now, once they got black people to sell it to black people, They killed off whole generations of people. Nobody talk about the crack killing our own people. But you got a nice coat on, man. You some rock and you pretty, man. You got a nice car, man. And you forgot you killing off the plumber, man. In the future, you killing off the electrician, man. I was telling my brother the day earlier, I say, back in the day, if you didn't even have a job, you had on suit and tie every day. So you can go find something. You had to look good when you come out the door, clean underwear, so you have an opportunity to get a job every day. Every day. So we had our own stuff, but the crack, nah, man. They say everybody talking about they cooked it and they rocked it up and this all the music today. It's the crackhead children. It's getting money, still selling crack, but through the music. Okay? Through the music. The bad behavior of I'm gonna shoot you, they got that from the crack era. Cause most of them kids grew up without no parents. Parents was on crack. They saw how they got beat, robbed, stole. They did everything on the bottom attributes of humanity. The bottom stuff. Still killing, destroy. We wasn't in none of that. We just go build something. But then when you really check the music business, that's how they move the drugs, through black people music. Because they get you to show up. Yo, remember the day Parliament Funkadelic? 60,000 people came to them Coliseums for 4 days, sold out, 60,000. They ain't got no numbers like that today. But now when they came to the concert, you think lean was some shit y'all created? Cough syrup was the shit that people drunk back then. Cough syrup. The original lean people. You went to the concert. Make my funk the P-Funk. Well, P-Funk was the name of heroin. What's the matter with y'all? Y'all didn't learn that yet? I learned that. I'm singing the song for 40 odd years. Make my funk the P-Funk. And people looking at me like, so you on drugs? I was like, who? Me? No, I ain't on no drugs. People who was on drugs told me what P-Funk is. Okay? They ask you in one of the songs, what you go? You gonna put a 3 on it? What you putting a 3 on it? That means you stepping on it 3 times. They said that in the song. All you gotta do is go back and listen to the music. Ray Charles, heroin addict. Okay? All the jazz musicians, heroin addicts. Cocaine use. Everybody. It was only people that didn't know, like myself. I didn't find none of this stuff out because I only had herb. Only. So the music I listen to, that's why, you listen to my radio show, you can hear the music I listen to. Okay? Now the artists that I listen to, they all died young too. Okay? Jocko, Pastorius, come on, man. These cats died young because they was on drugs too. Okay? So it was all the promotion of drugs in the music and the way that you live. But see, this is the thing about Rastafari people. His master gave us the opportunity to create a liberty that we all could escape. Now, and leave no one behind. Leave no one behind. We were taught that. Okay? I'm going to calm down, Baba. You can go ahead and jump back in. Somebody can say something because, yo, don't make me talk. I've been studying it for a few days, man. For a few days. I'm like, yo, we've been discombobulated, broken in pieces. We've been taught so many lies that we will accept a half truth because at least some of the truth is in there. No, get rid of the whole thing and try the truth all by itself. Straight, no chaser. Just take the truth. Take it, drink it. Then you'll be all right. Because then you'll see when the old people say, well, we saved, we don't want to go out into the world. Because they knew what the world had in it. They knew. So the world found out that we was really adamant about not doing their economic defamation of our own people. So then they put in, what was the relation between Baynard Russell? Oh, do you really want me to say that, bro? All right, I'm going to answer that question. Brother asked me, what was the relationship between Baynard Russell and MLK? And I did say that Baynard Russell was in the Alphabet Gang. So what do you think him and Martin was doing? They said Martin was a womanizer, so you don't think he had to go and work some situation out with Baynard Russell and a relationship so he could get up in the avenue where he was at? Yeah, that's how the Alphabet Gang got into the civil rights. Because MLK could never tell nobody that he was banging everybody, trisexual. They couldn't say that. Because you wouldn't have got the following that you got. But they put it out later in life. The man was a womanizer. The man was this. Man, don't discourage that part. Just ask people a question. Was the man bisexual? Somebody need to ask that question. Was Martin Luther King bisexual? Was he? I ain't saying he was, but him and Baynard wrote some laws that only affected the Alphabet Gang in this hour right here. Is that truth and rights? That's a question. Ain't nobody gonna go out there with me. Somebody need to read. Somebody need to study. Okay? Because you read about Baynard Russell, and he was busy with the Alphabet Gang. Through political, whatever word they use at the end of it. They made sure they got the laws that's going to affect them and they ain't got no posterity. They need you to F up so they can get your children and turn your children into Alphabet Gang. Nobody's born to be in the Alphabet Gang. They turn you out. That's what they used to call it when we were younger. They just go turn you out. Then you see the guy next week, he ain't Tony no more. He Fina or some other crap. Well, man, we better go back and study. And they made sure that we can't talk to each other. Younger people don't listen to older people no more because the older people got caught up. Because you needed money, so you just overlooked the dope. You overlooked this. You overlooked it just to get your bills paid because you didn't want to be at the bottom of the economic chain. We didn't want to be that. So a lot of people compromise their position. Okay? If anybody ever lived around, what they call that thing? Old people. Where Mr. John and his wife, you go to their house, Mr. John got his bedroom and Mrs. John got her bedroom. Go back and look at old people. Everybody had their own bedroom. Okay? They didn't sleep in the same bed much, except for to do what you do. Then you go to your room and go mind your business. That's the way we grew up watching it. Those are the people that stayed married for 50 plus years. Look into it. We gotta stop where we at and look at our personal situation. Because now it's okay for men to do men thing and women to do women thing. It's okay. Because it's just Romans 1. Don't get all upset. If you really know, it's Isaiah 3 and 4. Don't get upset. I didn't write it. I just learned to read. And that's all it was. You learn to read. And then back up from these people, man. Because their judgment is right in front of them. Okay? Yeah, bless up, Rasta. I be here. I be here you dropping jewels. I don't drop no jewels, man. I'm sticking them in my pocket. My cup runneth over. So you just catch one or two of them that's hitting the ground. Because I'm saying this for me. I'm saying this for my children, my grandchildren. And I can tell you this for sure. Whatever I don't say in this lifetime, 200 years from now, we can pick up this conversation. And I'll be here. Because I'm making sure I'll be here in 200 years. If you don't over that, keep working out your personal situation. I'll be here 200 years from now. Do all of what I'm doing now. This is the smaller group. This is a smaller 11. I got 11 children by one woman. She got time. That's okay. All the children, all of them look like the brother. Every one of them. So I tell people, they say, are those your children? I say, yeah, they all got the same daddy. What do you mean? What am I saying? They all got the same daddy. Why are you the daddy? Do they look like me? Yes. Okay, stop being foolish. They told us not to make babies, man. Okay? To stop. They told us to stop. So we stopped. Ain't it better to have a man? No. If you a man, what the fuck you need with a man? You supposed to have you a nice, genetically sound woman that know like we got to be here 200 years from now. And she would have to learn that concept. Okay? They would learn that. Of course. They said true. My grandma and grandpa slept in separate beds. Of course. Because everybody wanted their room. when you sleeping in the same bed, it's to procreate. Be a pro and create. Other than that, man, get you a king size bed in your room and stretch out. You know what I'm saying? You might not want no foot in your mouth, fart in your bed. You might just get in your bed. Go home, babe. Y'all go have a good sex. Then she go to her room. See, we had to figure out, like, who taught us that a man's supposed to go provide? Who taught us that crap? Because in slavery, we couldn't provide except for the master and his family. So we never had opportunity to provide for our family because the master said, I'm selling your wife tomorrow morning. You couldn't do nothing about it. So it wasn't no provision. That's some stuff they did in the 1900s where they said, well, we got to teach them some wrong stuff. The man got to provide, knowing that they got a plan to make sure you can't provide unless in this time you got to sell crack. You got to sell coke. You got to sell this stuff. So all the musicians that's got money and all this 20 and 30, 40 years in it, they always crackheads and stuff, selling crack and stuff. Okay? Corrupting force. Yeah, I like that. I like all that corrupting force stuff. Yeah. Is the music a curious force? What curious force on black people? Is reggae music included in the corruption? Now, you know already when you ask me, come on. Who doing the reggae now? The Alphabet Mafia. They is doing the reggae music now. So you have to accept the European version of reggae. You got to accept it. Because they sound good, as they say in the movies. They sound good. They almost sound like the real thing. But where the real thing? Down to high blood pressure. We got the best food all over the world, but we can't get access to it. Because once you can't get that passport, you can't get back home. You can get the good food, but you can't get back over here to get that money. So you got to compromise your liberty. When they say the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. See, we supposed to be taking over the whole earth. Like I told my brother earlier today, I was like, see, they knew that we was going to figure it out one day. So they made a cartoon. Remember Pinky and the Brain? Dad, remember that? That cartoon?
No, sir, I don't.
Oh, Lord. So Pinky and the Brain, they had a little small mouse. And then they had a bigger mouse with a big head. And that cartoon came on all the time, right? So then the mouse with the big head and the big body would always ask the smaller mouse, what we going to do today, Brain? Said, we're going to take over the world. That's how the show started every time. Every time, Pinky and the Brain. So the Brain had a big brain, but he was stupid. He was stupid also. He was stupid. Pinky and the Brain. Pinky was the little dude. One of them somebody gonna get me straight on that. So now that's what they did every TV show. They go take over the world. Now at the end of the show, they would always get caught and be put back in the cage. Every time. Brother say yes, I. So they was programming on our youth and telling us, yo, you can go and take over the world, but you gotta get back in your cage at night. Okay, you gotta get back in your cage. That's what they're doing to us right now. Yep. We can do great things, but we got to go back to in our cage at night. Okay. So now the laws in Oregon is protecting the children who still work at the dock. Because they ain't letting no black people work on the docks because the black people bust open a box and say, oh, shit. It's 200 kilos of dope in here. It ain't gonna make it to your connect. That shit gonna reach over here where we at. You're gonna have some new rich black folks. And they work at the dock. They work at the dock. So you don't want them in there getting that. That you can't. See, it was always to keep us at the bottom of the economic chain. Because we the ones with the brain. We can make up shit out of nothing. We just can turn it into something good. But we always lack the financial support, as all the Dr. Frazier would tell you. You know what I'm saying? The economic and the moral thought, the moral stability, right? John Henry Clark, he didn't even take no money for teaching us all of what he taught us. He didn't even take the money, man. And before he could get the money, they made sure that they gave him some medicine that made him go blind. John Henry Clark. He went blind. But what they failed to realize is that he didn't use the books to read. He used the books to explain to us the dimensions of how far people would go to disrupt your life and make it look like you are doing the wrong thing. Now, when people go say, yo, we captured them people, we ain't gonna never let them know that they're our property. They have us in perpetual slavery. So by right, they shouldn't lock up no property because all of us are property. They should be locking up our masters because they're the one that bringing it all in, flying it in. They should be locking up our masters because they put us in it. A guy told me today, I was doing an interview with him, he said, there was only 5 black people that was in the coke and dope business in America. 5. That's why they call them kingpins. Because they knew who they was. They used their arrest records and all that to create laws, kingpin laws. So they knew if you could do this without them knowing, then you could be a multi-millionaire tomorrow evening. Because you know a bunch of people that would take 200 kilos of dope and cut it up, and you ain't never got to know. You ain't never got to be a chemist. Put it out there on the street. You be rich. People bring you mink coats, cars. They'll bring you their wife. It's bad out there. Okay? So now, we wasn't doing it. We really wasn't doing it, Bible. Okay, I'm going to be quiet for a few more seconds. Excuse me. Ooh,
No, you go right ahead, priest. Teach. No, don't be quiet. Come on now.
No, I'm just saying it's got to make sense.
Go ahead, priest. You making plenty sense.
Okay? So now, they don't want us to express these things to the people. Because if we express it, like now, if I go on Instagram, nobody's going to listen to what I'm saying unless I come on your platform. Okay? And you got to take all the heat for having me on your show. That's the only way they're going to accept me out there. Okay? They got to have somebody else out there taking the heat. And, all right, look at the thing with Cat Williams and what the guy named? Club Shay Shay or whatever, all right? Right? Dude was on the Instagram apologizing, talking about he didn't know what Cat was going to say. Cat just walked in the studio and started talking. And he had to push play, push record. He didn't get to ask Cat no question. Questions like, boom, here it is. Take all of it. Throw it away if you like. But you're going to have to listen to it. And everybody going to know what the truth is and what not the truth. And he did it in such a way as a prophet, because prophets get killed for that shit where they say, they really get whacked. He said it made everybody laugh, which is what comedians do. They say something, make you laugh, like poor Paul Mooney. He make you laugh, but be telling you the truth. Okay? He taught Richard Pryor and all them cats how not to get killed by actually making everybody laugh while you talking about their shit. Okay? Dick Gregory used to make you laugh to tell you all of what he told you. Really, that's what he did. It's a platform. Because if you went out there and said all the things what Dick Gregory was saying, you know they would have whacked him long time ago. He was friends with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Michael Jackson, every controversial person during his time, he was friends with them. Bob Marley. Dick Gregory got some music and the rights to music from Bob Marley that people never heard. But you got to live in D.C. You got to talk to the old people and they'll let you know this stuff. They got the rights to this stuff because, see, after you get famous, you find out none of these people are on your side. So if your paperwork not right, all of the work that you've done goes back to them. Your children might get a piece of it. If you make children, you get a piece. But the broader foundation is they children getting all that wealth. That's the way the system's set up. It's set up so we can do everything and don't get none. It's nothing like reggae music from the 70s. Because they used to call reggae music in the 70s Sufferers music. See, you were suffering when you listened to reggae back then. Remember? They call it suffering music. Sufferers music. So if you heard of Ivy Vibe, you was good. Because you burn 2 spliff, drink your red stripe, and you was cool. You ain't fight, you ain't beat up your woman, none of that. You understand? Ivy Vibes, as they say. They still had war and stuff amongst ones, but man, we're gonna listen to this vibes over here, man. Whoever had the best vibes had the best thing going on. They said the latest, that real reggae that I heard is from Von Benjamin, Midnight. And I think that they didn't get their props because they wasn't Jamaican. Oh, they got their props, bro. Let me tell you something. Yes, it's true what you said on a level. It's just on a level. But see, because Rastafari was not unified during this time, I'm saying it again, was not unified, people was like, how they do it? Let me see. Let me get it right. All right. VI, reggae music. Trinidad, reggae music. Jamaican, reggae music. It should have just been reggae music. African reggae music. Nigerian reggae music. So everybody put their nationality attached to the reggae music. Okay? Which, come on, guys. It was supposed to be a worldwide phenomenon, not a local number 7. We didn't have a thing called headquarters in Rastafari until people started saying Jamaica did this, Jamaican did that. Okay, good. Now, when you finish saying that, nobody else can say Virgin Island this, that. We couldn't even talk like that. Me, myself, I couldn't ever say American Rastafari because we were definitely not American. We were still property. We were still under the perpetual slavery code. A slave forever and ever. Your children are slaves forever and ever. That's why they make you get a passport. They make you get a passport. Okay? You got to have one to get to the next port. You want to go to Africa, you have to go through Europe first. Correct? Can somebody correct me? Come on now, let's get with it. We're reasoning now. Because remember, we don't own anything. We don't even own the rights to move around freely. We don't. Okay? We need to become citizens of other countries, they said. So now when we became citizens of Ghana, they only want the technology that we have gotten and received during our suffering time. Okay? So everybody that suffers gonna want to sell at some point. They gotta sell out. Everybody don't want to be hungry all their life. If they got something they can sell, they gonna sell that. They gonna sell it. Even they one thing, make it clear. You cannot sell your soul. It ain't yours. And that's where they got our people at. Man, you had to sell your soul. No, you made a conscious decision to do some fuckery. You did that. Ain't got nothing to do with your soul. Because if anybody can buy it, God gonna take it back from them because they didn't pay him $1 or a quarter. They ain't even pay him no mind. So you ain't taking no soul. You just taking people's lives from them and making them make egregious behavior. Yeah, there go Vaughn right there. That brother could sing. And he understood by the way that we reason here in D.C., where they became famous in D.C. Okay, remember that. They became Midnight, Vaughn, they became famous in D.C. Okay, because they had the support from I&I, not just Jamaican people or none of that. He had the truth, and he was spitting it out. He was spitting it straight up. Okay, so while he's spitting it, just like all the rest of the Rastafari people out there, you had to go hang around some other people who were friendly in the business. So they provided you travel so you can get to the next thing. They provided your food to get to the next thing. Now, had they learned the music business in America, they would have never let them people feed them and breed them all over the reggae business. Okay? Because these brethren died from food poisoning at a young age. At young ages, these people died. Okay? Joseph Hill from Culture, right? Joseph was good. His music took off. He went to Cali. His music took all the way off. Next thing you know, some other people decided that he would do better in Europe. So when I saw my brother, Joseph Hill Culture, my man had rings on every finger. He started wearing suit and tie. Fixed the thing up nice. Every concert, suit and tie. Because that's what the people told him that he needed to do to get that audience that he got. By the time he started getting that real money, he was eating whatever they was offering him. Even if he went to cook his own food, he had to go to the store that they provided. Okay? Same thing for Vaughn. Vaughn died from some stomach illness, from eating their food. Okay? People scared to even look into the thing, but look into it. You don't die young like that. You don't. And you know what to eat, and you know how to cook, and you know Rastafari men, we know how to cook. Because we take care of our own children, so we all know how to cook something. We ain't gonna eat no waffle or none of them shit there. We gonna eat some ital. Yeah, we gonna eat some food, brother. Okay? See, me personally, I had this thing with the elders. I lived with them because I was from America, because I could show them best how to maneuver in the type of situation they were in. Because none of them was here legally. Because after the Europeans brought them over on tour in 88, they left them in America. They left them in America. All their paperwork expired. So we had to make sure that the elders lived in America for another 10 years with no papers. None of the elders had any papers. None of them. Ross Marcus, Ross Pito, Ross Headful, he had to go to Florida. The young people in Rastafari down in Florida had the elder selling bag weed to take care of himself. You got an elder almost 80 years old. You want him to sell bag weed so he can eat? Because none of y'all thought that we're going to do that? They said, does individual nationalism weaken Rastafari? Well, you said the first word, individual nationalism. That means that whatever fit your palate, that's what you're going for. You ain't going for what the next man say. Remember, the elders taught me and my brethren that came from them, we got one orange, we got to split that, everybody get a peg. So you didn't really have a choice. You had to split that so we all get a peg. So that was your individual. You wouldn't even get to eat if that's what you was going to do, your individual nationalism. That means you would talk and be around us. As soon as you leave from being broke around us, you go to the store with your credit card and you go home. That's how they did. People did it. Individual nationalism. They didn't go for hungry fed, naked clothed, sick nurse, age protected, infants cared for. Because that means that if you the one in the room and you got $10,000 a month on your credit card, you got to foot the bill for us. You got to foot the bill. Now, if you were smart, be like, yo, everybody put up $50 a month. We're going to pay this bill off. We're going to keep using this credit card. Because we had to do that. And people that did that around me, they ain't have no problem. Because we paid your credit card off. We did that to make sure we had it again next month. Okay? We did stuff like that. We didn't do no individual stuff. Because when you individually broke, like I found out, what, $1 million house right up the street. When I ran out of money, there was no guy that I could call and say, yo, man, let me get 15 grand for the month. I'll get it back to you next month or whatever. Because that's my bills every month, 15,000 every month. Didn't nobody have no bread. Didn't nobody have 10 people with $1,000, 15 people with $1,000 that they could put up. People wasn't in that thought process. They was into individual nationalism. So as long as their money kept going and their family was good, they was good. Some people learned some parts of it, but they denied the power of the thing. See, the power of the thing is made sure we still have these items now. Because that's what wealth is. Wealth is passed on to the next generation. Okay? But no, we had people with different ideologies in Rastafari. They had different stuff going on. So them and their family, they ate fish and octopus. You couldn't say nothing to them about eating those. That's what they ate when they was at home, in their islands. Octopus and conch and all this stuff. You go tell somebody in America about some conch. They be like, what is that? Oh, snail. We don't eat no snail. We didn't eat that. But we learned that when people came from different parts of the world, that's what they ate. Okay? I had brethren from some place in Africa, Namibia or something. Them people ate lizards. Really, they ate them. It was just good, I guess. I was Italian, so I ain't eating no lizard. That sound ooh. But if you go to dude mama house, she cooking it. So like it wrote in the Bible, when you invited to go to dinner, know where you're going, because you are required when you go to the dinner to taste whatever they tasting. You're not supposed to go to people's house and cause no commotion. Like I only eat this, I only eat that, because them people, they ain't eat vegetables like that. They ate lizards and other stuff. And I was like, wow. And you couldn't tell nobody about you can't eat that. Because they grew up eating that. They raising their children eating that. That's a national pastime somewhere. Eating lizards. I'm like, ooh, I'd rather take a piece of cabbage, please. And work it out from there. See, we done gone to where the knowledge hasn't been passed on to the next generation. None of it. So I'm just here today to cause some type of commotion. I told my brethren that Pyramid Big Bookstore. I told my brethren I'm gonna make somebody angry tonight so I can get me some more haters. Cause obviously getting people to like you don't work. So I gotta get me some more haters. Cause y'all been telling lies to each other and nobody been pulling you up and saying, it's a bald-faced lie. So thanks, Cat Williams. You know, pulled us up and told us to tell them the truth. Don't care who get mad. You know what I'm saying? You want to have a dialogue? We used to call it reasoning. But if you want to have a reasoning, come on, man. Bring that reasoning. And then tell people how you stole my lines. How you got the knowledge from I and I. You got it from us. You went and built some stuff, and it's for you and your family. But you got it from us. The whole thought process. Actual paperwork, how to build stuff in Ghana. People did that. They took the information, intellectual rights, and built it for themselves. And they dared you to say something about it because now you're a hater. With that old thing where they had around Rastafari, these little kids running around here. You hating because people stole some intellectual rights from you, built off of what they could get, right? Oh, yeah. Excuse me, I'm talking, but I read that. Yeah, it was some foul play because people did not want to do, like, think about Bob Marley. Bob Marley was cool until he started hanging around other people. He got sick. His third album, fourth album, he was sick. He blew up in less than 4 or 5 years. He was sick. Didn't nobody watch that. Vaughn blew up 4 or 5 years. Boom, he was sick. Joseph, 4 or 5 years after his 30-year career. He got it with the wrong people. Dead. See, we forgot. And that's how they treat us. We have a, what they call it, shelf life. We got a shelf life. We only worth this amount while you doing it. Now, the minute we don't like you, you can accidentally get, what they used to get American artists, thyroid, something in your throat. Everybody died from thyroid cancer. Horn players, horn players take care of their throat and all that stuff. That people died, man. For real. Check the musical history. Check out the stuff that we built. Okay? For real, check it out. Ross Marcus, that brother right there, he was one of my favorite elders because when they came to America, they stayed with me in Baltimore, and I helped them get where they was going. Ross Marcus on Curry Street. Anybody who still know, he was on Curry Street till he met with Mama Lola, which is my sister's mother. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knew Ross Marcus told me we was in a meeting. They had an elders meeting. And I'm a priest, so I get to be wherever I got to be. So after we was in there talking for a minute, Ross Marcus said to me, he said, the only reason you in this room, I said, why is that? He said, because you got 40 good years in front of you. I said, because I got 40 good years in front of me. Well, I'm in my 40th year, brother and sister. So Ross Marcus is the one who told me that. I would have been left y'all by yourself. If the elder didn't come in that time and tell me that, I had 40 good years. I really did have 40 good years. 40 good years. That's just good. I had adversity and tribulation and stuff, but it was 40 good years where the things where the elders told me, it was true. That's why I helped each and every one of them. Ross Brown, when he came here, he lived on, 16th Street? Meridian Apartments, okay? He left DC, went to Bahamas, someplace, with some people, this elder right here, with some Rasta people, and the place where he went was so foul spiritually, he slept outside one night, caught pneumonia and died. That's how these elders passed away. Because if you wasn't clean, the elders wasn't staying with you. Okay? When Ross Bonagees came to America, when he came to America in 1997, 98, he didn't want to stay in D.C. He said, yo, them people are filthy. At that time, I went to New York to help with the Bean House in New York. The elder came up to New York and stayed amongst our man. I was happy because, see, I had a privilege as a priest because they put me in that position that if they put you in a priest, you trustworthy. You go put their life before your life because that was your duty. And when you did that, you always found something. They say, Rasta need to take better of our elders who paved the way. They all passed away already. All of our elders passed away, every one of them. Ross Ivory Nine passed away in Jamaica the other week. Okay? The elders that you got now is olders. They call them olders. Older. They just older. They don't have the heavens. Brother Jack, he passed away. I was there when he passed. I was like, Ross Pito. I was there when they passed. Okay? Ross Iris, he need that type of help right now while we talking. Okay? Mama Farika, she's still out there moving. See, we forgot what elders you go take care of. The brother from Trinidad, he an elder, he almost 80. Okay? Narada Art. Yeah, we forgot about all these brethren. These brethren in their 80s, man, what help you gonna offer them now? They could barely got kidneys, barely got this. You gonna put up that 60,000 so they could get that liver transplant? What you talking about? We need to take better care because some of us put out everything into this liberty. That's why they call it liberty. We invested every nickel, dime, and quarter, every space, every building. Okay, we put everything into it. The house where I'm at right now, the elders lived here too. Okay, Ross Pito lived here. Sam Brown came through here. Brother Jack came through here. And when I say come through, I mean we was in it. It was tight. Because like the elder told me, when you get something, hold it. It's your ace in the hole. My ace in the hole was to make sure my elders was good. So they live right here. If you go back and you find one of them books called the Red Book, Rastafari something development, go back, 93, somewhere in that time, 94, go back and find the book. You look in that book and look at the addresses of a lot of the brethren. 756 Irving Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. got at least 100 people that lived at this address. 100 at this address. Because this was my office. I set up an office so we could do that. I didn't live here. It's an office so my elders could have somewhere to live. The lady who gave me the house, she was not liking that. Who are these people from the islands that can't afford nothing? And you got to pay for everything. I was like, yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's only money. Like, but you can use your money to go do something else. I was doing something else. I was playing the lottery. Because the elders that I helped, they helped me to this very day. Even though none of them are present right now. They helped me to this very day. Because the time we had, the reason, and the time and the things that we did, made it so I could still take care of all 15 of my children, all 10 of my grandchildren. I think I just had number 11 the other day. Okay, grandchildren. See? So, soon enough to be some great-grandchildren around this camp. Because they said, be fruitful and multiply. So I was all in it. The elders showed me how to keep a woman. How to keep them. Like, come on, man. Don't throw them away. Keep the same one. 25 years I kept one. Got 11 children out of her before she decided to go do something else. That was cool. She done her job. Keep it moving. Go ahead, Bob. I'm getting there now. See me eating my little kisses. See, I got to get some love. So I'm getting my haters up, so I got to get me some kisses. Excuse me. I hope I ain't take over too much. You still there, Baba? I don't took over the man's show. He done went back and went to take a coffee break. Mm-hmm. But anybody got a question, I'm all in it, man. Got something to say, I'm all in it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we need. We need to be all in it.
Any questions in the chat, family, for the priest?
I like questions. I like answers more than I like questions, though. Mm-hmm. I don't do too much talking in this hour because the people done turn you the wrong way. Isaiah 3 and Isaiah 4. Your teachers have confounded you. They have taught you some stuff that you can't use in the real world. Okay? Well, you asking me the rosters that the Pharisees, you call them the Pharisees and the Sadducees. That's the lawyers and the politician rosters. They push Rastafari. They say that it was a political movement when we definitely wasn't into no politics. Sam Brown found that out. He was the first Rastafari person in Jamaica in 1961 to run for politics. Go read your history, Jamaican. Sam Brown. Sam Brown was the head of a gang in 1961. Bicycles. Rob people, beat people up, all that type of stuff. No, Sam Brown, that guy right there, he was the leader of a gang. He took his whole gang and turned them Rastafari from the teachings of His Majesty. In the teachings of His Majesty, this man wrote a thing called the Rastafari Bible that is never going to come out because he was writing it while we was growing. He was writing it. And he had it in his personal possession. And it was only that one copy because he was still writing it. And he was telling us stuff that really happened. So if you go back and look at the album, The Teacher, Sam Brown, The Teacher, go back and listen to the music because that's excerpts of the Bible that he wrote. The songs were man, come on, man. Get the words right. Yeah, the guys who turned it political, they have no politics. They say they roster, Jamaican roster, until somebody asks them, where you from? They say, well, I'm a Canadian Jamaican or Jamaican, whatever, Canadian, right? They always put Jamaica first, even though they're not staying there, they're not living there. They only go visit. They only visit. You ain't going to stay there in Jamaica because if you go there with your money, you're going to have to pay some guy when you get there, Jamaican people. And if you go there and don't pay certain people, they're going to find you in the gully too. You know that's right. Because you ain't got enough money to take care of them. Resters, you call them resters? Rester, man? That's what they call it, rester, man. Yeah, they get you rested. Yeah, because they're going to steal all your intellectual rights and your properties because you're not smart enough to legalize every paperwork, legalize everything. So they going to tell you, give it to them. And they will use your stuff to get them paid and tell you why you can't get it. So now we don't look. Whoever following people follow people. I didn't come to follow people. Okay. Now Bingo Order was set up on the throne of His Majesty Emperor Selassie I, where people who was never thought to be a king is really a king. That's what His Majesty brought to the forefront. The ancient liberty. That the king lived amongst the people. The king who was in charge of the whole country lived amongst the people. Okay. You go to your house to eat, go to his house to eat. And was that 1911 when His Majesty came to office? All of the ministers ministered and did the administration of His Majesty in Ethiopia out of their own house. That was their office, their house. So you got to do a lot of reading and study this thing. Because like now, we don't have no bingy house. But we all got our offices. I hope people still got their offices. I've been in the same office for 33 years this year. Same place. Different paint and whatever. Been in the same spot. Because when I was giving my office, I had to read those scriptures. I had to read the keeping the grass, the fettering the grass. I had to read all these things. Still don't speak no Amharic. Still don't speak no Tigrigan. Still don't speak no Aroma language. I ain't in no tribes. No, I don't know what great things your grandfather did because They hung my grandfather before I was born. You catch me? So yeah, I would be studying my grandfather and what my people did in America that made everybody on the planet come here. Because no matter what you taught, you had to come here. And your people wasn't here while my people was here. It wasn't there. You took all the scriptures that you turned into Psalms, not Psalms, into singing and chanting. You got that from America, man. All those chants, all those church hymns from America, took it to Jamaica and started chanting. So everybody said, you created these nice chants. Man, you just read the book and learned how to read the Bible from America. The people who became the forefront of Rastafari people, they came here to America, learned our churchical ways, learned what we were doing, and went back to Jamaica to empower their people. It wasn't thievery. It wasn't none of that. You came to empower your people. So we taught you more. We taught you. You didn't come back and teach us nothing here in America because y'all still trying to come in and take over. That island should be running with Rastafari people. But you know, when you go back and start talking what I'm saying in Jamaica, they're going to find you in the gully because they don't play. They got politics that take sides, and they side come with blood and fire. Blood. They will burn it up, blaze it up. Come on, man. People know that. How do I feel about different houses in Rastafari? We was already one. Ask any biggie man that come from a longer hour, 40 years or more. We was all in the EWF. We was all in the 12 tribes because you have to be all in the 12 tribes. You are one of the members of one of the 12 tribes. You would have to be, okay? Because that's what the 12 tribe is. It's not one tribe. It's 12 of them. So you would always fit into a piece of it. We had a thing where we worked together. We really did on a level. And when we worked together, everyone could eat at the same time. Not you first, him second. No, all at the same time. So that bred people like me who, during my 20s and 30s, I was looking for $11 million building to put, man, look at this. In D.C., they got a building, used to be the old Italian embassy, on 16th Street in Fuller, Embassy Road. Now ask the people what not trying to get that $11 million building. Because this 40,000 square feet is on, what they call that? Prime real estate, Embassy Road. And on top of it, it used to be the old Italian embassy. So I thought in my little mind, doing whatever I was doing, illegal or whatever, I was thinking that would be a blow to everybody in the world if Rastafari people had the old Italian embassy. So I took the elders, Ross Sam Brown, Ross Pito, Brother Jack, and Abakasa, the assistant archbishop of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo Church. I brought them to the building. I said, yo, we got to get this right here. Elders came together and said, nah, the people not ready for it. Well, here it is, some 30 years later, y'all still ain't ready. You still ain't ready. But now somebody done took the building. They said, why did this Master Haile Selassie first visit the United States before the Caribbean? Because he knew that he didn't have to talk to us twice. We were willing and able. Whatever his master say, we did it. When he came to New York, it was 1 million people showed up. 1 million in New York. That topped everybody. That topped it. So you already know we was waiting for a leader to lead us up out of this. When his master came in 1954, the first time, Brown versus Board of Education came about because his master was a lawyer. His master was smart. He helped write laws to give us our rights to read and write, to get equal. They said separate but equal. That's what they were saying. His master said, nah, forget that. We all going to have the same thing. Okay? And his master made it happen. He really made it happen. Him and John F. Kennedy was friends because he was showing them how to treat black people, how to get them some rights and make them have it. His master did that as a man of color. And the white people had to respect him because they couldn't debate his talk. His talk was perfect. It put him in check. Okay? So, yeah, we supposed to be working together, but Like I told people some 22, 23 years ago, you in America, you visiting, all of y'all. So if you trying to cut me out of something, not where I live at, I say there will be no bingy house without me in America. Now I kept my promise because there is not one in America without me in it. And I meant that, and I still mean it to this day. You will not have one. And I helped set up a lot of them in America. But you can't have a bingy house without me in it? Nah, bro. I came to add value to what we doing, and I ain't like the people that they put in charge. Because they wasn't my leader. I ain't elect you to be no leader. I already know who you is. I already know your attributes. Wasn't close to God like or nothing. So I ain't never follow Satan and his minions. Never. Never ever. Still ain't gonna follow. Ooh, come on. Who got the question? Come on, I'm getting hot up in here. I want to talk to somebody. Like we reason. Make this fire hot, Baba. Make it hot. Ooh, wee. Ooh. I'm on it. I just said why. His master came to America first. Because he knew if he said something to us one time, we were ready to act on it. Soon as his master said it. Soon as he said it. So here in Howard University in Washington, D.C., his master gave that school, who was supposed to be primarily for black people, a sword and a Bible, which remained in Howard University vault until I organized it so we could present it to the world. To the world, because the world never even knew they had a sword and a golden Bible from his master, Emperor Selassie I. We had that here, because he knew we was about that. We was about that life. You can tell who the gangsters did for real. We about that life. Gave us a Bible. About that life. Okay? So even though people be talking about this and that about America, you find yourself over here. You ain't at home talking that ish. Go home and talk that ish. Then you look around you and see if you ain't in the gully tomorrow morning. Because your people is fighting against the Almighty. Our people is accepting him because we God-fearing people. We found this master in Revelation 5. We found the fake Jews in Revelation 3. We found these things, so we knew who was who. We knew who was who. We wasn't talking about following by no Europeans nowhere. We definitely wasn't going to marry them. We definitely wasn't going to do that. Because now when you marry them, all of your wealth goes back to the European people. Do your biracial people. I'm playing with them. We was really talking about what we was talking about. We didn't do that. We didn't amalgamate. Amalgamation was a sin. It was really is. 2nd Ezra 7. That's in the Bible. Go read this stuff, man. Excuse me. Because that's why people started reading the Bible, because they was convicted when they read it. When they read it, they were going like, I'm doing all the wrong stuff. Well, I ain't going to stop because I'm getting benefits. Well, how much more benefits we would have got? Because you got to catch today blacker than chocolate, black chocolate. All of their woman and their seed don't look black at all. So all that wealth they collected going back to them people. It's going back to them people. And they're people all to themselves. The blacker you are, the less you got. You start what? Every guy that amalgamated, they found out that ain't what you gonna do. Tiger Woods.
What?
Huh? Did somebody say something? Look at it.
Go ahead, Priest.
What? Am I lying?
No, sir. No, sir. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, you not lying. No.
Okay. Because I just wasn't supposed to say that, but I'm saying it now. Because
You sure wasn't.
See, when we came into the order, it was black supremacy. People said, you can't have no supremacy without no money. We didn't have any money. That's why we had supremacy. Because supremacy made it so that whenever you had something, you shared it out amongst who you shared it out. Okay? We had a priest in New York called Priest Peter. right? He was older than I. He was excellent brother, excellent priest. He was my senior, but I'm the elected priest, so I get to speak for the priest. That's what people still don't like about the situation. I speak for all the priests. So when they finish arguing amongst themselves, it's me gonna say something. That's gonna be the end of it, because that's what they other put me in that position. Because they knew I wasn't from the island, so I wasn't gonna do no politics at all. I wasn't gonna do that because I was by myself. So I always had to choose what was true and right. I had to. So when we read the Bible and said amalgamation is a sin, you had to put away those children. People didn't want to hear that. They got this nice white thing and all these biracial this. Now you find out that the children is with the Europeans for sure. For sure. They are not giving up their inheritance because they black family ain't got none. We had a brother here from Vietnam. Father was black, mother was Vietnamese. When he found out who his father was, he was totally disappointed. When he found out his brother's black people was crackheads, they were crackheads, he was like, no, my people from Vietnam. For real. It's real stuff. Okay? And I used to love the brother the same way because I was like, brother, you got an overs that is through our black seed that y'all still here. Because we the only ones that can breed and get all these different races. We the only people that can do that. There was a place and time for everything. But now, let me say this one little thing, get out people's face. When do you see black families show up and anybody get them some props? Okay? Black family, black man, black woman, black children. When you see them get some props? Okay? You don't see it. Okay? You don't see it. Because don't nobody want you to see that. Even commercials got black woman, white dude, black dude, white woman. Everybody got, this is the thing they promoting. They're promoting it. You messed up all the way around. Okay? So they got you doing that. And then if it's two black anything, it's two black women having a baby. You know that don't work. Okay? Because somebody had to spit. Spit, get that out. Get that C-man. They call it C-man. You C-man? That's why they call it C-man. Because when they hit, it's going somewhere up in there. Two women can have a baby now. Because you don't need a C-man. Well, you still need the fluid, but you don't need the C-man. See?
What?
Yeah. See, we on some different type of stuff right now, Bob. And I'm telling people, like, look at it for real. I'm not telling you who you can marry or don't marry or none of that. Because I'm like this. 200 years from now, I'm going to make it short. 200 years from now, let's take up the same conversation. Let's take up the same conversation. Because let me tell people, like I told this group the other day, I was here when the first man was made on the planet. They said, how is that? I said, because the first man made a baby, right? They said, yeah, and then they kept making them. From the first man, you had to keep procreating. So people like me are not born from no woman. We born from the creation of time. Because dead people can't make no babies. Unless they take your semen out when you're dead and then put it into a woman through in vitro and fertilization. But you still need the seed, man, from the man. See, so their whole thing is all backwards. When two men come together and do that, Romans 1, you ain't going to be here 100 years from now. Sorry. So I ain't even going to argue with you right now because you're going to be gone. We've been here from the day one on the planet. We get to you and you and you, and now you made it so you ain't going to be here no more because your sexuality took over. When we go back, really go back, and look at our lives and see where we went wrong and left the Almighty and left his teaching that he gave every one of us. Regard more. I'm going to say regard more because you don't want to re-up on God less. Don't say regard less. Regard more. When you do it, you'll be going like, man, I got to make sure that I make my life and my liberty proper so I can have me one or two seeds so they can grow up proper. And we're going to pass it on down 200 years from now. Okay? I was talking to a guy at the coffee shop, and we were talking about business and everything. He always busy. I said, man, you're getting kind of older now, right? So you should go ahead and make a child. He said, man, I ain't got no time for no children. I only got time to get this money and keep my business going. So I said, when you get too old to work, who you going to give it, pass it on to? He said, I ain't passing shit to nobody. Everybody got to get their own. I was like, oh my God, I can see why you're not procreating. I can see why. Because the Almighty ain't going to give you no brain like that where you is only busy about you getting it. They call that narcissism, by the way. Narcissism. When you only busy about yourself, you can deny yourself the right to procreate. Okay? I got a Italian old man down the street. He's 63. He blamed me for having a baby 3 years ago. He said, because, man, I'm going to give him, he got a young wife too, Brazilian wife, beautiful, because she with the money too. He was like, yo, I'm getting a baby, man, because you make it look easy. I said, what? He said, yeah, man, you old like me. You making it look easy. I was like, yeah, well, it keeps me young and fit. My children is the soccer team, and they this, that, and the other, basketball, football, and I'm attending all of it. And I'm like, yeah, it's making me feel good. Because as I keep making my children, the older I get, the wiser I'm supposed to get, the children will get that DNA. They will get that. That's why the older people now, they all got illness, so they can't breathe. They messing us up on a whole level. So like right now, when the guy just get ready to turn 58 or something, you're supposed to go make a baby to celebrate. Because the knowledge where you got now, the baby going to be born with that. The baby going to be born with that knowledge, bro. You can't stop this thing. That's why the master laughing at them. Like whatever they do is foolish. It's foolishness to the Almighty. We just here laughing now because I say the Almighty is a comedian. Now, I wasn't saying Cat Williams was the Almighty because I always said the Almighty was a comedian. But look, a comedian came and told you the truth. He told you the truth. And you be like, nah, he just hating on a person. No, he ain't hating on nobody. If you took my lines and you got paid off of it, you're supposed to give me my props while I'm living. Because you know good and well, in reality, you would have no cultural center in Ghana if you didn't get the information from me. If you didn't get the teaching from me, you would have never done that. See, this is stuff in real life, Rastafari. You would have never had no school over there because I taught you that and did it hand by hand and showed you how to pull it off. And this is how we came. When you look at this picture, that's how we came. We came with nothing. Just the idea that we're going to praise the Almighty. That's all we came with. Now, for real, we done turned it into a multi-billion-dollar company. But I'm not going to be the last. We was the last to become first. And we will be first. Because that's why I told the elders before they started passing away. Don't worry about a thing. Because every little thing gonna be all right. Yes. We told them what Bob said. Don't worry about nothing. Boo, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. And unification is still working. It's still working. With all my brethren, I still don't have no brethren from America except for the I and certain ones. All my brethren from Earth. You know what I'm saying? People ask you, where you from, Earth? Or you one of them funny people. No, all my brethren from all over the planet. I'm in Washington, D.C., the headquarters of all the known black people on Earth. They all come here. They all want to be here. So when they come to America, I make sure I meet and greet them. Because whatever resources they got in Ghana, I want that. Whatever they got in Namibia, I want that. I want to cut. Let's get back to the reality of we own a piece of everything. They said, how do I feel about Europeans taking over? And how do I feel about them claiming to be Rasta? All right, Lion Pride, let me tell you like this, right? You heard of the band Soldiers of Jah Army, correct? I'm just saying correct so you can stick with me, right? Baba know them, Baba TV, you know them, okay? Now, before they was a band, they came to the Bingy House in Washington, D.C. They came to talk to Brother Jack and to myself. That's what they did. You can ask them if they brave enough to say that. Okay. Me and the youth, all David and all the rest of them in the band, we were painting a room in the Bingy house. All of us was painting a room. When one of them said, they told Brother Jack, they say, we want to do the reggae music. So Brother Jack said, if you really want to do it now, I'm going to hook you up in Jamaica. He sent them down to Jamaica with the right people. They came back and got a Grammy. Soldier Army came back and got a Grammy. Okay? Because the elder showed them exactly what to do. Because he was showing us that the people who were doing reggae was doing nothing but slackness. That's all they were doing. So he made them European boys sing and say everything what the elders were saying. Ask Bob. You can't ask Bob, but excuse me. Bob Marley was the same way.
And now if that shit sound like country music today.
But guess what? You can't hold something that you stole. You got to go back to what you know. Because the thing what the elders showed you was for you to contribute to our people, because David and one of them guys, one of their fathers used to work at DuPont Paint. He was a vice president. He had enough money. I mean, real money. And he put money into them kids going to Cali and getting that white market, reggae market. And they started performing them little reggae things all in California and this, that, and the other. They was doing that performance. Next thing you know, the reggae artists from Jamaica who was bigger than them, they had to come open up for these kids, man. Because they had money. They'd be like, yo, now you going to come open up for Soldier Army and you're going to legitimize their reggae music. See, people forgot that we around. See, some of the elders still around, but we was involved in this thing. So my hands was in this. So I wasn't against them because they was white. That's your problem. You woke up and you was white. You was Chinese when you woke up. I met a Japanese prince. He couldn't really speak no English in Cali, in San Francisco. He came here, had a bodyguard that had purple hair. And this prince, he could come to America just to smoke weed. Because in Japan, you get hung for that. And he was a prince. So he came to San Fran to smoke weed, to walk up and down on Long Beach, to go to Venice Beach, to all these different places, because we tried it together. And I want a Japanese friend. People say, yo, who is this guy? That's a prince? Yeah. He got his own legacy in Japan. But he could chant now Bingy. He knew the chants. He knew that because he came and chanted with me in San Francisco. These are things that we did with other people. We wasn't fighting against them. But see, they knew that when we come together in a congregation, they could not touch the harps because they can't represent the suffering that we come from. So they recognized it. We would chant together, but we didn't go to a meeting or a bingy. They just stayed back. They wasn't allowed to come and administrate because they didn't come from the suffering. So if you didn't come from the original, you just sit in the audience. Let a Japanese prince sit in the audience because he had to humble himself. Like we used to say, humble yourself, brother. These are things that people, if they wanted to know, they could know. But we didn't have Google back then. We definitely wasn't on take no pictures of us, okay? Because we didn't like pictures. We didn't want nobody to know who we are. Because they was killing everybody else. They was opening your mouth and talking Rastafari. You dying from music. You dying. Come on, brother. It got to the part where the people in the reggae music was bringing dope and got caught with coke and all that shit. The biggest reggae stars got caught, okay? And did years in jail, okay? Dennis Brown, coke, okay? What's a cat name, man? We should be around this guy, man. Gregory Isaac, coke people. Straight up. And everybody that know that. But see, in that part of the world, dealing with coke wasn't a bad thing. So the way we feel about it here in America, other countries, they built it, okay? They shipped the coke and stuff through Jamaica. So if you get your hands on that and the guns, you was a don. You made money. See, we're afraid to talk the truth, okay? Because we're not working together. So you don't expect I'm only going to talk good stuff about you. And the only thing you could call people from America is Yankee. You know how many meetings I sat in 40 years and none of the people knew I was from America. And the things they were saying was so disrespectful about the brethren in America. But because I was with the elders from the beginning, nobody ever thought that they would make the elected a priest from America. Who would do that? The elders. The elders knew that y'all wasn't going to take care of them. So when they said, hungry fed, they knew already we were going to eat together because I'm going to go out and do my little thing and we all go eat. You know what I'm saying? Naked clothes. That's why we had sewing machines. I was making clothes. I had clothing stores to make clothes for our people. You got me? Yeah, I was making a little money and all that stuff. Sick nourished. Yeah, man. We had the best ital. Ross Pito taught me this thing one time. We were hungry. We had no bread, no herb, no nothing. We had some cornmeal and some onions in the refrigerator. That's what we had. The elder said, we're going to make some turn meal. I said, turn meal? That's where you put, you know, they call that stuff, the cornmeal in a pot, and you slow stir it with water, and it's real thick. You cut up the onions. That's the dude right there. He taught me how to do that. And you stir it up real good, put a little seasoning in there, boom, turn meal. You ate a bowl of that, you was good for the rest of the day. For the rest of the day, we learned poverty. I learned a new type of poverty. I'm from America. Poverty wasn't the easiest thing to do, especially here. But I learned how to eat because the elder was like, yo, next time you do some turn meal, put your green pepper in that day. We turned it into a delicacy. Turn meal. Because people ain't never going to be that hungry again. Well, you just need 69 cents to get you a little bag of cornmeal and an onion. That's the whole $1.20. Yeah, we was hungry like that. Okay. So people can stop pretending like we was all together, we was eating together. Now, certain brethren did that. Certain brethren we ate together because that's how we was broke like that. But then certain brethren, soon as they done being broke, they got their money, man. And we saw money. We saw people come in and open up a whole bag and say, take what you want, priest. I was like, brethren, yeah, I took 10 G's out of it because it looked like he had about 250,000 in the bag. So, of course, I'm going to take 10 G's out of it. He said, get what you want. I ain't want to be greedy. I just used one hand, stuck it in my hand. I'm like, oh, that's 10 G's, stuck it in my pocket. I was good. The man was smiling because he said, when I was hungry, you was right there and you showed me how to eat and you gave me herb, you gave me stuff to live off of. And I was like, yeah, brother, because that's what we was doing. So when he made a big lick, as the young people say, a lick, man came with that big suitcase full of money and said, yo, get what you want. Now, I'm supposed to take it. I took it. I incorporated it into what I'm doing all now. See, that's why we be doing the treat everybody proper. Because you don't know who the Almighty going to bless. And you want that person to have the best experience around you. It's like hitting the lottery. Really, it's like hitting the lottery. You don't know who will come back and be like, yo, brethren, let's eat. Brethren come in and got 100 plates of food. He was broke last month. Now he got 100 plates of food. Like, yo, here, priest, take 10 of them things, go eat. Yes, man. We live like that in the real world. So that's the only thing I'm preserving right now is us living together and making our world a better place. Okay? Now, one thing about me, I'm kind of strange. I want all the brethren around me to be married because I don't trust men at all and people. I don't trust them. So if you're a man, you got your wife, you got your babies you're making, you're taking care of your family, I'm with that. I'm with that. For whatever reason you can't keep it, your woman, that's on you now. But I'm trusting that when you got a family, you're going to do what you're required to do, man. You're going to look at things more adamantly. So that's where we going to get better stuff. Because when you go shopping for your children and you know I ain't got no bread, you be like, yo, let me get the priest's daughter a dress. Let me get this and get that and send that over. Because in my lifetime, I don't have brethren who come and be brought their wife and their children over to deliver some new clothes to us. Not no used stuff, brand new. Because the wife called me days before and said, what size your children wear? Okay, good, we're going to shop. They told you what they were going to go do. So when the children got it, it was a surprise to the children. Said, oh, it's a nice dress. It's a nice, yes, man, thank you. Yes, Lion Pride, it's correct. Cause like the elder told me, we was in New York with our Ross Bonagis, and me and the elder, we was good. Like I said, me and the elder was always on a level because I was like their son or whatever. So Ross Bonagis, he was going to the United Nations to deliver his first speech, right, in the United Nations. So we got up that morning, get everything dressed and stuff. The elder said, "Nah, brother, you can't go." I said, "What?" He said, "No, they don't never need to see you. Don't make nobody see you." So now here it is, that's 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago. Yo, bro, the only people see me is Baba TV. That's the only, brother. You can't find me nowhere on the YouTube or nothing, brother, except for on your show. Because I don't want nobody to see me, because that's what the elder told me. Don't make nobody see you, man. My radio show, I don't even talk on my radio show. I just put on music where you can go get some work done, brother. I'll talk to you if you call me, but I don't really want to talk to you or him or her. No, because we don't have no issues where we require our mouth. We need our hands and our feet and our minds to complete some tasks so we can look better in the next 100 years, next 200 years. Now, if that's too much for the people to understand, then just work on the next 5 years or whatever, man. Do your little thing. Because as Massey showed us in these years, have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 25-year plan, 100-year plan. People say, I ain't going to be here. That's the point. Make it so thorough that 100 years from now, your stuff is still rocking. Somebody's rocking your stuff. Somebody from your bloodline, in particular, is running the thing that you're speaking about. So that's what I'm speaking about now, man. Procreation, brother. Baba, I don't know if I did it or overdid it or what, but it got me hyper, bro. Reminded me of the hours that we had reason.
No, you never overdo it. It's never enough. But I want to thank you, priest, for blessing Baba TB for this sound right reasoning that you always do. And I got to get to D.C. and visit the family. I haven't been there, and usually I'd be there by now, but I'm getting ready to come see you and the family. And I do want to end it with midnight. I do want to end this live stream with our brother Von Benjamin of Midnight. We want to thank the priest. You see his Cash App right there, family. If you want to donate something to his Cash App, he don't walk on water. He eats, shits like everybody else. And I'm sure he would definitely appreciate if you drop something in the Cash App. His email is there for you to do that. And on that note, family, I want to take us on out of here with Midnight, and this one is called Cobblestone.
They don't know love, yeah, you see. Can't feel love, yeah, you see. Don't know love, yeah, you see. Can't feel love, yeah. But I am the cobblestone. I am the original cornerstone. 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 Don't do love, yeah. You see, can't feel love, yeah. Even if you show love, yeah. They can't feel love, yeah. They have no ways. Sweet and convincing in the beginning. Two faces of evil and oppression. True face of negatives and suppression. They have no ways. Sweet and convincing in the beginning. True faces of evil and oppression. Two faces of evil and oppression. But I am the cobblestone. I am the original cornerstone. The cobblestone. I am the original cornerstone. Polarity, the paradoxes is in the ugliness of vanity. Polarity. The paradox is in the ugliness of vanity. Destroying the blueprint so no one can see who is the original and who is the copy. Destroying the blueprint so no one can see who is the original. They can't be love, yeah, you see. Even if you show up, yeah. They can't be love, yeah, you see. They don't know love, yeah. They can't be love, yeah. Even if you show up, yeah. Instead of Jah at the head, mankind at the head, manipulating to stay ahead. Instead of Jah at the head, mankind at the head, manipulating to stay ahead. Can't be love, yeah, you see. Even if you show up, yeah. They don't know love, yeah. Even if you show love, yeah. Why don't they ever write letters on their pages? Why won't they ever write letters on their pages? They are destroying the blueprint so no one can see who is the original and who is the copy. Destroying the blueprint so no one can see who is the original. Only vanity, vanity, vanity. Intellectual vanity, vanity, vanity. Existentialism and vanity. Narcissism and vanity. Transcendentalism and vanity. And they can't be love, yeah. Can't do love, yeah. Even if you show love, yeah. They have no ways. Sweet and convincing in the beginning. Two faces of evil and oppression. The two faces of evil and oppression. But I am the cornerstone. I am the original cornerstone. The cornerstone. I am the original cornerstone. I am the cornerstone. I am the original cornerstone. I am the original corner. Yeah, original corner. I am the original cornerstone. Original corner. Can't be love, yeah. Even if you show love, yeah. They don't know love, yeah. Even if you show love, yeah. I am the kabaka, 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 kabaka. Might of the Trinity, Aile, Aile, Jah Almighty, Aile, Aile, power and authority, Aile, Aile, supreme in supremacy, Aile, Aile, power of Jah, Aile, Aile, the head creator, Aile, Aile, supreme in supremacy, Aile, Aile, power and authority, Aile, they can't be love.